Sparkman. I'm Executive Vice President of Client Solutions at Leger, and we wanted to share with you some new ways of engaging with your clients and how to do research with online communities. So we talk about moving from monologue to dialogue and trialogue when we're in the era of talking about online communities. What does that mean? We came from an era where marketing was the monologue. Marketing always told you what you needed to know about the brand. But then we transitioned to an era of dialogue where you were able to ask questions to your clients, you're getting feedback, you're exchanging information, and you were able to have that one-on-one conversation with them using, for example, surveys, using voice of the customer platforms. But now we're talking about trialogue. And what does that mean? It means that with an online community, not only are you able to share the information that marketing would share or that you would share as a brand, you're also able to converse with them in a back and forth scenario, but you're also able to listen in to what clients and your clients are saying to each other. And sometimes we find that the best ideas are generated from our clients and not always from us. So allowing you to be part of that conversation, listening in, seeing what they have to say to each other, what they really think, really allows you to go to the next step. And it allows you to engage your customers further in your brand. So if we look at the evolution of online communities, so in the very early 2000s, we saw the dawn of the millennial where market research was. And actually, Leger was one of the first research companies in Canada to build an online panel. And so we know that era. We were around in that era. We lived through it. But then further along in the 2000s, email communities started with the answer response type survey format with VOC style interaction. And it really allowed you to communicate with the community, with your community, meaning your clients. And today we're really in the era of agile communities, allowing you to use it for so many different things, for both qualitative and quantitative research methods, all in one place. So in the same way that the technology has evolved when it came to online communities, so has the evolution of measurement. So over 20 years ago, we thought that measuring satisfaction was the end all and be all, that if the client was satisfied, they were going to spend more, they were going to buy more from the brand. But then we realized that wasn't the only KPI that we should be looking at, that experience was extremely important as well. So then we started measuring the customer experience, looking at how we can improve that relationship with the client, how you can offer a great experience and see what that meant. And that's a key indicator. However, today we have to add another component. We also have to look at engagement. So you need to measure that satisfaction to make sure that what you're offering is what the client needs and you're doing a good job at it. You need to offer a wonderful experience to keep the customers engaged in speaking to your brand and build that relationship. But then you need to help build and brand ambassadors to continue that conversation. Because what happens when that transaction finishes, when they've interacted with your brand, and then what? How do you get them coming back? How do you get them to be that brand ambassador? And so we see the evolution, whether it be in technology, whether it be in the evolution of measurement, in research, and that's why today we want to talk specifically about online communities. So perhaps some of you have heard of them, some of you have used them, and some of you may not even heard about how we use online communities in research. So this is some data coming actually out of our neighbors in the US. So look at it, approximately 73%, whether it's quantitative and qualitative, have used online communities. So you see that it's pretty mainstream in other areas of the world. We know in Europe it's highly used. It's just that in Canada, we're getting accustomed to it. It's actually been about 4 years that at Leger we've already been offering online communities to support our clients. But I think it's caught on much, much quicker now, and especially in the life that we're living today, all of us being remote and working remotely, wanting to have an additional access to our clients, being in communication with them, being in touch with them on a regular basis in real time, remotely. I think the need for an online community is even more prevalent. So what is an online community? If I asked every single one of you, you probably would have a different definition. Some would say it's social media, some would say it's the people that live in my neighborhood, and they're all correct. So what do we consider to be an online community when we talk about a research platform? It's a technology platform that allows you to engage in an ongoing conversation with your clients. It allows you to measure, to exchange information, to build loyalty, generate new customers, and all this within a private setting. So I think that's the key. Having it be in a private setting really allows you to dig further on some of the things that are more sensitive, on doing testing, on doing product innovation, on doing in the same way that we've always done in traditional marketing, but just bringing it into a different type of platform. So here's some ideas of how you can use or where you could use an online community. Of course, it allows you to bring your customers together, help them share their opinions, which means you can collaborate on ideas, you can collaborate on innovation, they can help you develop your brand because they can contribute to that conversation with you. It also can help you create brand ambassadors. So by engaging with these customers on a regular basis, by having them be part of your VIP online community, you can share information with them that helps them stay attached and engaged to your organization. So that would help you create those brand ambassadors. And we know today what influencers or ambassadors are worth to every brand. We can also use it to help improve brand recognition, improve customer loyalty. So customer loyalty does not always need to be about loyalty programs and gaining more points. It could be about staying close to the customer and sharing exclusive information for them. And that also helps you build customer loyalty. It is a platform that is used for research. So all types of research methods are supported in an online community. So you can do both qualitative and quantitative within the same platform. It helps you understand behaviors, motivations, and desires because there's a lot of different activities that are included in an online community that allow you to dig further, that allow you to come back to that same person to understand better how they responded to a question, for example. And of course, we always love to hear about budgets. Every brand always has an abundance of research they want to do, and they're often not able to due to budgetary constraints. But if you have your own client community and we're able to work with you and work with the community and already have these people accessible to you, that drastically reduces the costs because they're available to you. And so there's ways that we can work with our clients to help you look at your research plan and see what types of research activities make sense in a community versus where it makes sense to explore other options. So there are 4 basic stages of preparing an online community. That very first one is the planning. And I would say this is probably the most important step. It's understanding what your needs are with the community, who you're going to speak to, how you're going to do it, what the voice of your brand is going to look like, have it mesh with the branding of your brand, and understand what the objectives are. Are you launching an online community to respond to one specific need? Or are you launching an online community to promote engagement and do research throughout the year? Are you using it to talk to a specific segment of your clientele? Or is it to have a broader audience of your clientele that you can get reactions from with quick turnaround and real-time basis? So I would say that the planning phase is key because it allows you to set the tone for every single step along the way. That also allows you to understand who to invite to the community. So is it just a small group of clients because we just want to look at, for example, I don't know, very specific segmentation of the population? Or do we want to invite a broader audience? So for example, invite people from your loyalty plan, invite people, send out invitations through your social media or your website. Or do we want to work with Leger in our panel, for example, to access very general population where you want to speak to very specific socio-demographic groups. So all of that needs to be thought through. Then, of course, we engage them in activities and conversations in real time. And of course, you have access to all of the data in real time through the online dashboards, or of course, exporting all the data so that you can manipulate it and analyze it further in any which way that you see fit. And we are there as well to accompany you at every single step of the process. So when I talk about those tools and I talk about those activities, what are they? What do they mean? So within our platform, you have all these 8 different tools to help you engage your customers. So number 1 is that you have a quantitative survey engine. So it allows you to do an unlimited amount of surveys, unlimited amount of completes within the community. It is not built to do a very long questionnaire of 45 or 80 questions. It's actually meant for quick pulses. It's meant for it to get a pulse on what's happening. It's in a community, the approach is very different in the sense that it's better to have shorter, more frequent activities than very long engagement activities. You also have an online forum or a discussion group. This is where you can have online discussions. You can listen to what other people are saying to each other. Everything can happen by chat, so you have a full transcript in real time of everything that's said, and you can participate as well in those discussions. There's step boards and journals that are included. So this really allows you to be in a journal, to be in a private mode with the members. So for example, it's a sensitive topic or you don't want that information shared throughout the community. Having a member keep a journal for either one day or one activity or on a continuous basis really allows you to dig further. In research, we do ethnography work sometimes where we use this journal style approach. It can also be done in this manner. The whole platform is based on a gamification type of scenario whereby you want to engage people to keep coming back. And so we can assign points, give them badges, rewards if you would like, to really have them have fun while they're engaging with you. There's also chat functionality. So again, it allows you to come back and dig a little bit deeper with a specific person or have a one-on-one chat or a group chat to allow you to better delve into different topics. You can also integrate with social media. So that doesn't mean that that your members will share on social media, but they can log in using their social media login and password, which makes it easier for them to participate. So this becomes really part of their daily life. It's fully multimedia, which means you or your members can upload photos and videos at any point in time. So this is what makes it more fun and engaging. And you really can understand what the client is thinking when they can share that photo with you, for example. And of course, you can share blogs and newsletters. You can even email newsletters to remind them of new activities that are coming up in the community. But you see that really all the tools are included in the same platform. It really gives you a holistic view of all of the measurement that you do with your clients. So I'm just going to log into an online demo that we have that will allow me to share with you what it actually looks like. So give me 2 seconds. There we go. So hopefully everybody can see my screen. So this is an online demo that we've created called Fit Lab, and it's about fitness. And so if you take a look at the very top, you have all those different tools that we talked about, which you can activate all of them or deactivate some if you don't want to use them right away. It can be fully branded to match your colors, your look and feel, really branded exactly like your brand. And of course, right now we have a carousel that's right in front to bring their attention to something that's new, that's different, that's important, so that you always see that. And if I scroll down a little bit, you can see any new activities that are happening. So here, it's nice to have a welcome message when I'm starting off a community. I can give them different activities to do to be part of that community and give them a chance to know each other. On the right-hand side here, we have different widgets that you can use, activate or not activate. So you can have countdowns, for example, if you're going to be giving a webinar. You can have a widget for a chat, a live chat that's coming up, so they can click on that and join the chat. You can have polls, so it doesn't need to be this very long survey. It can be one question. Right away, you get the answers you need. And another one that I really like is actually the to-do list that shows me all the different activities that have happened since I last logged in. And I know that I can go and complete some of these and be part of this community. So being part of that community, I think, is key. It's letting people understand that they're not the only ones. So you can choose what you share and what you don't share on this page, but it allows them to see who else is online, who else is involved. And of course, there's no personal information that is shared. and it's up to them whether they even want to add pictures or not. But you can limit and choose what information is shared here. But for example, I know Hillary has 150 points, which means she's been pretty active. But not as much as Sophie, that's 450 points. You can also have badges and awards that you can assign. So for example, if it was a specific activity, or it's the first time they started, or you want them to go and upload videos, and that takes a bit more time, maybe you award them with badges and awards. And so, of course, this is that whole gamification part of the platform, that if you want to use it, it's great, it's there, it's exciting, it really makes your members feel part of a greater whole. And if it's an approach you don't want to use, it's very easy, we just deactivate it. One activity that I really love is the challenges. And so this really allows you to set up different types of activities for your members. So don't forget that within a community, since it is still a research tool, you can segment your clientele. You can segment all those members within the platform. So what I see now when I'm showing this to you could be because of my background, because of the way I've responded to my profiling questionnaire. And Joanie might be looking at something very different. So this really allows you to capture the feedback from the different segments of your clientele. So I like this one, which was, we asked, what's your favorite stretch? So of course, each person can go ahead and they can put information, they can upload pictures, they can upload videos of what their favorite stretch was, they can talk about it. And then you can even have a scoring system. So you can score by likes, like with heart ratings, or by star ratings. So if think about this in a test concept where you are looking to innovate or test an ad or a new product, you can post them all and have people rate them. And obviously, so the downward dog in this case happens to be the preferred stretch. And if you notice here on the right-hand side, we always have word clouds based on every activity that is set here under those challenges. Another interesting and fun place to share information is right here in the forum. So that's that open discussion. And it's very social media feel. If you notice the amount of people have seen this discussion, how many have commented, I can click on it, I can participate in it, I can add my own comments, I can see what other people have written. And it really, that's very much that Facebook feel. But if you notice, you're able to reply. You're able to reply to each other, and you as a moderator, as a brand, are able to reply or, really moderate that conversation as well. So when they talk about, I love pole dancing class, maybe you want to explore that further because you're trying to develop new classes for your gym. The journal is that one-on-one, more private space. So in this case, for example, it's private because we sent a pair of gloves to specific people and we want to get their feedback. We didn't want everybody to see it because we didn't send it to everybody in our community. In another, we will be showing you some case studies at the end. It was very sensitive topics when we're working with some pharmaceutical companies. So you want to keep some of that conversation private. The last one that I want to show you here is the questionnaire module, because I know that surveys is still, important to us. We still want to quantify some of the information. We still want to be able to use surveys. So here's a couple of them that we've created here. So for example, I go into athletic wear one. You can see that it's a basic survey engine with skips and triggers. It allows you to have all different types of question formats. You can have single select, you can have open comments, you can have multi-selects, you can have sliders, dates, etc. And this is a new one, which is really much more about heat mapping. So you can ask them, for example, what's the first element you looked at the picture, and I can write a comment, or it could be negative. What are the negative things that you don't like about something? And this can be done, again, part of the platform. So this is just to give you an idea of what the platform could look like. I think that it gives you an idea about that the look and feel of it is very user-friendly and really allows you to share information and really be that voice for your clients. Again, when I switch screens, that's when I lose.
Oh, that's fine, Sandie.
Yeah,
I'm going to share.
You're going to share?
My screen. Yeah.
Great.
Are you seeing it? Yeah, okay, good.
Great, thank you.
So, if we have 5 important things to mention about communities to ensure the success of this kind of project. First, it's really important to define the community's initial objectives and not lose sight of it over time. In a company, we can forget the main objective when we attempt to respond to different requests coming from different departments. So it's very important to always keep in mind the main strategic goals and to keep the focus at the right place. So that's why I'm bringing you to a second important point. So to ensure the success of a community project, assign a project manager or a team that will be the central point of contact. Will stay focused on the main objective of the community and ensure consistency of the communications. So they will maintain a balance between the various activities. They will have a good knowledge of all the content that are already being displayed on the platform. So it will avoid the duplication of similar questions or topics that already been put on the platform. It's very important as well to vary the activities over time. So don't just do surveys. It will make your community breathless. So limit the number of questions per activity. My recommendation would be 3 questions. Of course, it depends on the project, but it's better to ask fewer questions and do more different activities to achieve your goals than the other way around. So it's also very important to make the rules clear and readable on the community. For example, you may ask the participant to respect the opinion of others even if they do not agree with them, but provide a place for the private feedback, such an email address or in the footer for comments of dissatisfaction, just to avoid to have like a community where all the dissatisfaction are everywhere. So, and finally, make sure you give feedback to your participants and to your internal, external partners. So you can say, okay, hello, we listened to you. Here's what we did because of your comments on the platform. You can do it through the community or a news page or in a newsletter, but this way your participants will feel valued. There are different benefits. Advantage of online community. So these are the many advantages relative to this kind of project. So first, the platform is very intuitive and easy to use. So it allows you to be more agile, and it gives you the flexibility to launch small or larger research projects whenever you need. So it also allows you to be more creative. For example, using videos, photo sharing, doing more creative activities for the members. So this is a very dynamic way to do research. It's an easy platform to set up. So you saw with Sandie showed us that we can design the color, we can choose the color of the font, the police, the background. We can design something that will be at the image of your brand. It also helps you to get to know your members better over time. So if you increase the engagement of your ambassadors and you get more information about them, you will have a better knowledge of them as well. So especially if you offer contests or gamification program, which is a feature we saw that we can activate in the platform. And finally, it allows you to get the pulse of your members on more sensitive topics. For example, because you can set a private platform where the exchanges are controlled. So if you have very hot topics you want to talk about, but in a private way, this is a good place to do it. Sandie?
Yeah. So what makes our community at Leisure a little bit different than some of the other ones? Number one, all those modules we showed you are all part of our platform. You don't have to decide what you want to use now or not in the future. It's all included. We allow you to go up to 25,000 members within the same community, which is huge. So imagine being able to really build a strong community of clients and be able to also segment them, and it allows you that space to include more clients if necessary. It's an unlimited number of simultaneous activities, meaning you can have different activities, surveys, polls, forums going on at the very same time. And of course, Leger is exclusive to this platform in Canada. So what we have done is we brought it onto Canadian servers. So all the data stays in Canada. It's a SaaS-based solution and it's hosted on Amazon Web Servers. So that's wonderful because you do not need to get your IT department involved. It does not touch any of your internal servers or an internal technology. As long as you have access to the internet, you can log in with your credentials and you'll be able to access it. Same thing now for your members. They can access the online platform from a desktop, laptop, tablet, or there's obviously an optimized version for mobile devices. So it is built actually as a mobile first platform because we know that about over 70% of the members typically like to engage through their mobile device, and so it's been optimized for that. Again, because it is also used for research, it allows you to do an extensive amount of segmentation to really allow you to look at very specific segments of your clientele or to look at it holistically. And as always, Leger offers you a turnkey solution, meaning a combination of the best technology with the best research support and the best professionals to support you, help you, and accompany you at every step of this process. Next page, Joanie. Yep, perfect. So we want to share just a couple different case studies. We picked some that were very, very different from one to the next to give you an idea of how differently we can use the same online community. So we did a project with the telecommunications company in Canada, and they wanted to launch a brand new product to the market. So before doing this, they decided that they wanted to measure the entire customer journey, from ordering it to installation to post-sale service to having them try the technology at home. And so normally we would work with them in another way, but they decided let's try what happens when we do this in an online community. They wanted to make it much more engaging. They wanted to be able to probe more, and they want to be able to go back to specific clients that encountered some difficulty and better understand that. So they decided to do this as a task with their employees first. So let's have their employees live this entire process, be able to measure it, provide the feedback, and then be able to prepare for the launch to the general public. So this was over a 6-month basis, and they had 2,000 employees that participated in the community. Within that time period, we had over 70 different types of communications with the members on so many different topics. We did more than 10 different questionnaires, as well as different types of activities and challenges, some of it regarding the new billing system, the installation, again, all specific challenges that we asked these members to try and to give us their feedback on. And we produced 30 different reports, basically, about one a week, to allow them to better understand this whole process. And what was really interesting was that at the end of this approximately 6-month period, 75% of the employees said that they did not feel that the company was ready to launch the new technology to the greater public. So the company took this to heart, went back and looked at all of the information they were able to collect, got some of the bugs out, dusted off, some of the processes, really made sure that it was perfect, and then they launched it 2 months later to the general public, and it's a huge, huge success for this company. Joanie, next, do you want to talk about the next one?
Yeah. So Leger also did other projects with the pharma sector. For example, we had a company that wanted to know the behavioral habits of Canadian women with respect to vaccines. So, for example, what question do they ask to their doctors when they talk about vaccine? Are they afraid of vaccines? Where do they find out information about health subjects? So the solution was to recruit about 40 women and invite them to complete various activities over 5 days on the private online community, so to be part of the study. And this research has been successful. As a result of the project, the pharma company was able to tailor its advertising messages to reflect the concern that has been raised during the study. So not only did the participants really love their experience, but they even opened a discussion forums on their own to discuss about the topic together. So we're able to collect very interesting and additional qualitative data. And the fact that everything was written on a platform saved time. So we did not have to transcribe what has been said, as it is the case not in in-person discussion group, for example. So when we talk about an increase in efficiency, we generally talk about cost saving. So and we then have to rent a room for the discussion groups as well. So it was very appreciated, and we still have other projects coming. We also did a project with the police department for a major Canadian city that wanted to recruit new police officers during the year. They wanted to make sure that they were targeting the right candidates with recruitment and hiring activities. And they wanted to know the realities and the factors that motivate the candidates to work in the police sector. So what professions are they interested in? Do they face barriers? Those are examples of questions that have been asked. So the solution was to recruit with our Leo panel, which is a Léger panel. And the police service also recruited participants via social media. So all of these individuals were invited to connect to an online community where activities were spread over a 1-month period. And the content was segmented. So some topics targeted only visible minorities to better understand their realities for during the hiring stage. So we can come to the conclusion that obviously it allowed the police service to better understand the candidates, the job search criteria, the careers they are interested in, the website visited for the job searching. So it has allowed our client to target the content and the recruitment and hiring activities to maximize the success of the process within the police service. And this is the kind of platform that they would like to activate again in the near future. So this is a possibility as well. So they really appreciate the experience, and that was a success. Then, if we wanted to finish with 2 important things to remember, first of all, the heart of a community are humans, are people. So it's very important to put yourself in the shoes of your participants constantly. Besides, if you also show your human side as a community manager, which is I normally do when I'm a moderator, I put first the activity, I present myself, and then I ask the others to do the same. So it's a good way to start the community. It will make you more endearing. So to keep them engaged, keep them informed of your project, your actions, share exclusive content with them. In this way, they will feel privileged, and don't forget to entertain them. So they want to stay connected with the community and continue to share their talents. And we will end with a quote. To get the results you never had, you must do what you're never done. And community, I think online communities right now, it's a good way to do the things differently. You can always use your creativity and find new ideas and apply it and try new stuff with different modules available in the community. So this is it for the presentation. We add a box where you could ask your questions if you want. So we invite you, if you want to write your question. I'm going to give maybe a 30-second, 1 minute. And Sandie, do you have a final word for the presentation
Sure.
as well?
Thank you all for joining us today. We will be sharing with you, you will receive an email probably by the end of the day with access to this presentation as well as access to the recording if you'd like to share it with someone or take a look at it later. If we don't have any questions today, we'd be very happy to speak with you one-on-one, or feel free to send us your questions more privately. We're open and always available to chat further if you want to just better understand or understand how I could work in a specific environment. That's what we're here for. And so far there's no questions. So we thank you all for spending your lunch time, for most of you that are on the East Coast, and the morning break if you're out on the West Coast. And we wish you all to stay safe, to stay healthy, to stay at home, and hopefully we can all chat again sometime soon.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.